Okay, Mr. Kokomo, could you now publish DS18B, which is from January 11th, 2015, 3:20:50 to 3:21:04 a.m.
So we never had a problem with that. Never in life. Okay. Never cool. Okay. We just had a problem with Brother Kale. Yeah. Describe Kale to me. So you picture.
Mr. Kokomo, could you publish DS18C, which is from the same interview, same exhibit, 3:30:31 to 3:31:02?
I messed up on them, so I got you. Yeah, so they got the ass with you. But I know that they can't like. I can go in, I did something. I know that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to go to jail, I ain't trying to jail, I ain't trying to go to nobody's room, none of this. Me and nothing, never had a problem. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, I put show to you. A person come to my kitchen and say, you gonna die tonight. They come to my kitchen and say, your Instagram? Yes. You gonna die.
And finally, Mr. Kokomo, could you play DS18D, which is from the same interview, 3:41:50 to 3:42:45 a.m.?
I don't know what to do, but I didn't do it. Like, I'm lost. Like right now, man, I really am, man. I'm scared. I'm lost. I always wonder, I can't even think, man. Like, I don't know what to do, man. I don't, man. Cause my name come in every now, I'll be saying with, but now somebody's dead, and I know how I feel to lose one, you know what I'm saying? I was my close friend, you know what I'm saying? And now, you need to they showing up in my house and stuff like that, but like, and it ain't even dead, it's a game. It's the whole clip, you know what I'm saying? They beat, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing with film, my heart, cause now I gotta watch out for everywhere I go. I have to watch out, man. It ain't nothing I can do about it, man. And I didn't have nothing to do with it. I didn't kill him. I didn't have him killed. I ain't never tried to fight him. I ain't never tried to rob him. I ain't never done nothing to nothing.
In that January 11th interview, you stated to Detective Thorpe on 4 different occasions that you never had any problem with Nut, that you and Nut were okay, correct?
I'm listening.
Okay. You specifically said, I've never tried to fight him. I've never tried to rob him. I've never tried to do nothing to Nut.
Right?
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to ask Mr. Kokomo to publish DS21, which is States 378 Yankee Beta, from 8:11:50 to 8:13:18. Hold on one second, Mr. Kokomo. And Your Honor, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask a couple questions first. Going to your January 28th, 2015 interview. Well, in general.
Let's just get to your question. You want to know, did I take the change?
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. But in 2014, Donovan Thomas's chain went missing, was stolen out of his car, correct?
Right.
All right. To people in hip hop, a chain is a very personal thing, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know that? Okay. Mr. Kokomo, if you could publish DS21.
Like, and then, like, you had somebody broke in that up and gave me the phone and the jury. But I realized I was sick. You know what I'm saying? What the hell? Ain't nothing shit. But I called him up. Hey, man, I got your shit right here. Pull up on me. He come pull up on me. But before I gave back to him, I already hit me. And he was texting the kid like, come on, bro, I introduced you to these folks, bro. You just took them out. And he was like, he said, big bad, bro, kill this.
Yeah. How did Nut's chain end up in Woody's possession? Let's listen and learn.
Like, man, nigga, look, you what up? You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, my shit, nigga, you ain't doing it for me. Yeah, this one ring. You know what I'm saying? So, nuts and big pad, right, more pad, right, more pad, right, more pad, right. Tell it, man. Like, you ain't say that, like, man, fuck you, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But nut pull up, don't nobody know you. You know what I'm saying? Nut pull up, him agree. Man, nut got to shut up. Like, right here, you stuck right here. You know what I'm saying? He like, how you get it, bro? I ain't want to tell him. One of the young niggas on the vehicle in the car.
Okay. In that story, you were saying that someone stole a chain from Nut, correct? The peanut chain.
Yeah.
And that person, and not only his chain, but his ID, his wallet, his phone, correct?
Right.
And that person happened to give you Donovan Thomas's belongings.
Right.
And you said, you told the police, you realized it was Donovan Thomas's chain. And you called Nut and wanted to return his stuff, right? And specifically, right before we paused it, you said you didn't want to tell Donovan Thomas who took it, right?
Right.
You wouldn't want to tell Donovan Thomas who took it because Donovan Thomas is what some people might say is the big homie, right? He's a gang leader. You don't just take Donovan Thomas's chain and it's all cool, correct?
And no objection from the state when Attorney Schardt says Nut is a gang leader. He's a big homie. And not an objection from the state after the state have tried over and over again to paint Donovan Thomas as quite a clean guy. They had his dad on the stand. Yeah, that's gone. That is gone now. I don't know. I don't know Donovan Thomas. I don't know his relationship with the Atlanta gangs. But I do know that the state did not object to Donovan Thomas being called a big homie and a gang leader.
I don't know.
Well, that's why you wouldn't want to tell Donovan Thomas who took it, correct? You'd want to protect whoever took that chain. You wouldn't want Donovan Thomas gunning for that person for disrespecting his property, right?
Right.
Mr. Kokomo, could you play DS24D, which is states 378 Yankee Delta, which is from February 21st, 2015. And this is from 537.44 to 540.26.
But I was finding on this year in Canada at night.
It's not paying.
So I'm pull up there one day.
Is it popped up now?
No.
You started again, Mr. Kokomo.
There you go.
But
Thank you.
I was finding on this year in Canada at night. So I'm pull up there one day. Somebody had one little punk broke in the car. Stole his chain, his phone, his ID, my driver's license. And I gave it back to him. Like, I got it. Man, it's nut shit, nigga. Yeah. But I really thought he was gonna give me some of that for it. I called him like, hey man, I got the shit, bro. Like, for real, bro? Like, yeah. Like, where you at? I'm out here in McKenzie. I'm on my way to McKenzie. He's like, all right, call me, get out there. So he called me back. I'm like, shit, I'm here, they waiting up. He's like, all right. So when I get out there, I call him. He's like, pull up at 90 spot. Like, shit, I ain't got no ride now. I got locked out like about 4. So I'm just pull up. I'm like, like, I got a pump from the player. He pull up, bag in, hand me fit. Shit, she got the car. Vic said, what's up, bro? She nut chain. Like, here you go, bro. You ready? Got me up. Gave him that little shoulder thing. So I gave him the but I was finding on this year in Canada at night.
Again, on February 21st, 2015, you're telling that investigator about your partner stealing from Donovan Thomas and then giving you the chain and the phone and the wallet, and then you returning it back to Donovan Thomas, right? And you dapped him up, and you and Donovan Thomas were all good, right? Okay. January 11th, 2015, you repeatedly said you had no problems with Donovan Thomas, right? January 28th, you talked about the chain. There was someone else that took it. You returned it to Donovan Thomas, wouldn't tell him who took it, but y'all were all good, right? February 21st, 2015, you again repeated that story about one of your partners taking the chain and ending up in your hands. You returned it to Donovan Thomas, you dap him up, you're all good, right? Mr. Copeland, the reality is, late in 2014, you broke into Donovan Thomas's truck. Isn't that correct?
The door was open.
The reality is you knew that was Donovan Thomas's truck. You know what he drove.
The door was open. Yeah. So here we go. Woody wasn't good with Donovan Thomas. Not good at all. You can almost say that Donovan Thomas was really bad with Woody. And Woody is a survivor. He does everything he can to stay out of jail, and he does everything he can to survive. Doesn't he?
Right? You went into his truck and took his peanut chain, right? You knew it was Donovan Thomas's peanut chain, but you didn't care. You wanted to disrespect Donovan Thomas. You wanted to take his stuff. Isn't that correct?
It wasn't about disrespecting him.
The reality is, Mr. Copeland, that Donovan Thomas called his phone and you answered. Isn't that correct?
Oopsie.
Yeah.
The reality is you knew that Donovan Thomas knew that you stole his stuff.
I ain't still.
Objection, speculation. Sustained.
The reality is that you knew you bit off more than you could chew.
What you mean by that?
Donovan Thomas was coming after you.
Objection, speculation. That kind of evidence, relevance. Sustained.
The reality is you made up this whole story about returning his chain, about your partner breaking in, and all the rest to try to throw Donovan Thomas off of your scent. Correct? But Donovan Thomas knew.
Objection, speculation. Vague. Sustained.
When you told Detective Thorpe on January 11th, 2015, that you ain't never have no problems with Donovan Thomas, that you and Nut were cool, you never brought up the chain, did you?
For what?
When you said you ain't never tried to rob him, you ain't done nothing to Donovan Thomas, you never brought up the chain, did you?
That ain't robbery.
You and Donovan Thomas were far from cool.
Yeah, Mr. Schardt does not care if what he says is objected to and sustained. He doesn't care what the answer is. He's there to make a point, to bring forward a theory. Yeah, Woody isn't on trial, but Shannon Stillwell is. And Mr. Schardt is zealously advocating for his client. He doesn't care what Woody says or not. Woody has immunity for what he is saying on this stand. So, yeah, Woody isn't on trial. He will probably never be on trial for Donovan Thomas because of how the investigation was botched, how the prosecution has now, a prior prosecutor charged Nut, dismissed. A prior prosecutor charged Mr. Stillwell, dismissed. And now they are making a third attempt and is ruining everything. So the chances of Mr. Thomas' murder being solved in a court of law is basically zero at this point. But Schardt is there to defend his client, and he's doing a damn good job at it.
TIG stands for Think It's a Game, correct? Ms. Copeland, TIG is Think It's a Game, correct?
You know it.
Okay. That's a record label?
I guess.
That's a record label that Donovan Thomas was associated with, correct?
I guess.
It's run out of Summerhill
I don't know.
neighborhood in Atlanta. Mr. Bennett, also known as Lucci, wrapped under that label. Think It's a Game, correct?
I guess.
Okay. Think It's a Game had a studio on Metropolitan Avenue in Atlanta back in 2015, correct?
I guess.
You may.
Mr. Copeland, I'm going to ask you to look at DS 31. Do you recognize DS 31?
Yeah,
Okay. That is the building that housed TIG Studios back in 2015, correct?
I guess.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that DS 31 be put into evidence, be admitted into evidence.
All right, it's admitted.
That's the studio that Lucci went to make songs, correct?
I guess.
That's the studio that Donovan Thomas would be at, correct?
I guess.
That's the studio that Rich Homie Quan would be at, correct?
I guess.
You are aware that on January 8th, 2015, late at night on January 8th, 2015, the TIG studios were shot up, correct? Do you know that, right?
I'm listening.
You are aware that Rich Homie Quan's truck was struck by bullets on January 8th, 2015. His windshield was shot out, correct?
You don't know?
You're aware that Donovan Thomas was present at TIG Studios on January 8th, 2015. Isn't that true?
I don't hang up there.
DS 22B, please, Mr. Kokomo. I would like to publish, Your Honor, DS 22B, which is from January 28, 2015 interview, states Exhibit 378 Yankee Beta 7/24/39 to 7/25/06.
All right.
Like, it ain't dead, bro. You got disappointed, you nigga, bro. So the more you support them, the more they gonna come out to that. If you leave them alone, then everything gonna go away. Yeah. And you're like, oh, just protect me, bro. We need y'all, bro. I need y'all to protect me. How they ever gonna protect me? You and you niggas out here doing it. They ain't gonna hit me. So you shot my truck, bro. That's out of the truck. Man, you been, you know what I mean? You been
You are talking to the police about Rich Homie Quan asking you if you shot up his truck, correct? In that interview.
That's what it just said.
I'm gonna
like, nah, I was with you in there like this.
What did he have a 25 on to do? Take it for?
That's it. So, Rich Homie Quan questioned you about whether you were the person that was outside the TIG studio shooting up in that studio on January 8th, 2015. Isn't that correct?
You can't question me.
Thank the court's indulgence.
Might be new evidence, but nobody's objecting.
All right. Not talking about what you told the police. I'm talking about reality now. On January 6th, 2015, you were at Club Crucial.
I'm listening.
You were in possession of a large amount of money and you were showing off in front of a bunch of people that knew you, in front of a bunch of girls, correct?
I'm listening.
In front of all these people at this club, Kelvin Watts, Shell Kell, Donovan Thomas's brother, jumped you, correct?
I'm listening.
He tested you. He started punching you. He tried to take your stuff. He gave you a black eye.
He punched me in the back. He didn't hit me he didn't face me off.
Okay. Well, you had a swollen face.
Because another nigga hit me.
Okay. Who was with Shell Kell?
What's up, bro?
He was with Shell Kell, the other person that hit you?
Obviously, he went with me.
These men, Shell Kell and his friends, tested you publicly in front of a bunch of people, in front of a bunch of girls, correct? They tried to run your pockets, right?
I'm listening.
Pardon my language, it pissed you off.
Just like you is.
Okay.
Yeah, Woody is not happy now. He was pissed off being jumped, and he's pissed off at Mr. Schardt now going deep into what may or may not have happened regarding the murder of Donovan Thomas.
2 days later, on January 8th, 2015, you found out that Nut and Rich Homie Quan were outside the TIG studios on Metropolitan Avenue, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You got in that rented Infiniti and drove up to that studio, didn't you?
Your Honor, objection assuming facts not in evidence.
I'll allow it.
You took your gun with you.
And now the judge is interested as well. Because Schardt has been leading up to this all along. Now, all of a sudden, the prosecution realizes, oh crap, he went there? That wasn't supposed to happen. It's too late. It's too late. It's already getting in.
You stood outside the fence and you shot at TIG studios. And you put a bullet in Rich Homie Quan's truck. Did you not?
You got proof?
Y'all got proof? Doesn't matter. This is not an interrogation. This is not an investigator investigating Mr. Woody. This is Mr. Schardt laying foundation, and he has been doing this all along, painting a picture for the jury. All along. This is really good. Is it correct? Don't know. Don't care. This is about reasonable doubt in the ears of the jury.
Was Trevante with you when you went to the TIG studios?
Did you got proof?
All right, we're going to change the subject, Mr. Copeland.
All right.
To your understanding, now you pled to the possession of a firearm case from 2021. You pled to that recently, or this year.
Say that again?
You pled to that case this year, correct? Earlier this year, the possession of firearm that you were interviewed about on October 27, 2021?
I don't know if it was this year or last year.
Okay, fair enough. To your understanding, you still have a pending matter in front of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, correct?
Shit, I ain't no telling. I don't know.
Well, you discussed it. You gave an interview with the Danza Project recently, right?
Right.
All right, and you discussed a pending matter where your understanding is you are charged with filing a false report.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, to your understanding, you're charged with false report of a crime and false statements, 2 felonies, correct?
Right.
And the allegation is that while you're at the Fulton County Jail,
Relevance as to the specific conduct or specific, an improper impeachment as to the specific extrinsic evidence of the specific incident that occurred.
Okay, I can't really hear you very well, but I think we might need to approach about this anyway.
Oh, Miss Hilton is panicking. I have no idea what she tried to object to, but she threw everything out there and hoped that something would stick. Now, oh, for frick's sake, what happened? Where were we? I pressed the wrong button. Where were we? Darn it! I need to check the stream. What the actual time was on that one. Sorry, folks. I did a boo-boo. 747. No. Yeah, 747. On it. All right. I boomed. I pressed the wrong button. I was just trying to skip forward, and I skipped all the way to the beginning of. And yeah, you all know what's coming. You all know what's coming. It is sidebar counter 226. Oh, 226 sidebars. I might have missed a handful, but I do believe I'm quite close to the actual number of sidebars in this trial. Oh, all right. Let's get back to this. Skipping forward. When did they start again? Skipping. Here we go.
What? That won't do much good then.
27A and DS 27B.
Yes.
Mr. Copeland, could you just look at those two documents? Do you recognize those documents?
I seen it before, yeah.
Are those the arrest warrants taken out for you for false report of a crime and false statements that you believe?
Yeah. Remember when Mr. Melnick emailed and told the prosecution, you're going to get him killed? You have put a target on his back? That was not because of the defendants. It's about the rest of Atlanta. Has nothing to do with the defendants, because people have been snitching all over apparently regarding YSL, and nothing have happened. The real gangs of Atlanta, they might be, yeah, because for me, Nutt's murder will probably go unsolved. As Commissioner Sleer says, Nutt's friends and relatives, that's a whole other question. That's a whole other question. Let's get back to the thing.
Are still pending against you?
Yeah.
Okay. And briefly, the allegation is that, well, Your Honor, I would move to admit DS 27A and DS 27B into evidence.
Yeah, we reject the admission of those two exhibits. You can ask the question, but exhibit, impeach them with exhibits.
They're admitted over objection.
Mr. Copeland, briefly, the allegations against you that you believe are pending are that you accused a jail worker or a deputy of spraying with OC spray at the jail, right? And the deputies, the supervisors, reviewed the videotape from the jail and determined that the jail worker did not have OC spray on her and did not spray you with any OC spray in the jail. Isn't that correct? Right? Did you know that the state, while this trial was going on, dismissed that case against you?
I didn't know that.
I brought you good news. May I approach with 27C?
You may.
Apparently, nobody told Woody those charges are temporarily
Does
dismissed.
that document,
They are temporarily dismissed. And nobody told him. Probably the state didn't even tell Mr. Melnick that those charges are temporarily dismissed. They had this hanging over his head all this time and didn't tell him the charges was temporarily dropped. And who did that? Guess who? Fannie Willis. Fannie Willis dropped those charges. That's her signature on those papers. That conniving, sleeping with a married man, lying in church person, never told Woody those pending charges were dropped.
say state of Georgia versus Kenneth Copeland?
I think.
Okay. That document indicates. Can I approach?
You may.
Correct me if I'm wrong, does this document say the facts of this case have been reviewed, and although it appears that probable cause existed for the defendant's arrest, the decision of the district attorney at this time is not to prosecute the above named defendant? Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Okay. It says the reasons for this decision are as follows: prosecutorial discretion. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
the person whose name is on this document is Fannie T. Willis, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That document does not indicate that your pending charges for false report of a crime and false statement, they don't indicate that those are dismissed forever, just for now, at this time, correct?
I guess.
Okay. And nothing in that document says we dismiss this case because we were wrong, Mr. Copeland's innocent. It said prosecutorial discretion, correct?
What do they mean?
Okay. It means they just made the decision to do it.
All right, that we can strike that part. Ask your next question.
Isn't it true? And you just found out that this was dismissed today, but isn't it true that while you were on the state's witness list to testify in this case, the state was simultaneously, at the same time, prosecuting you for false statements and false report of a crime? Isn't that true?
Tell me so I can understand.
They were calling you a liar at the same time that they were asking this jury to believe what you're saying. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
Schardt is the only time he's not pounding down the nails on Woody is the time when he's pounding down the nails on the prosecution.
Let's talk about your immunity agreement with the state. They told you in that June 10th, 2024 meeting that you did not ask for, that any crime that you talked about, they were not going to prosecute you for, correct?
Yeah.
You can talk about shooting Rich Homie Quan's dad's barbershop. You can talk about shooting Rich Homie Quan's father. They're not going to prosecute you for those things, right? That's what they told you. That's the promise they made to you, correct?
Characterization of the evidence.
Sustained.
Is that your understanding?
Nothing I say can be used against me.
Okay. There's one exception.
If I say that I did, yeah.
Okay. The Donovan Thomas thing.
Yes.
Mr. Copeland, You don't know.
I missed where the judge said that thing. Let me go back a few seconds.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. The Donovan Thomas thing.
Yes.
Mr. Copeland, you don't know any of these gentlemen back here to have a personal beef with Donovan Thomas, do you?
What you mean?
Back in 2015, you didn't know any of these gentlemen to have a personal beef with Donovan Thomas.
I never said I did.
Okay. The reality, Mr. Copeland, is you were the person who had a problem with Donovan Thomas. Isn't that correct? You were the one that broke into Donovan Thomas's car, correct?
So in fact, not in evidence.
Overruled.
You've admitted to it. You're the one that stole Donovan Thomas's chain, correct? Ms. Copeland, you're the one that shot up Donovan Thomas's friend, Rich Homie Quan's father's barbershop in 2014, correct? You're the one that was going back and forth with Donovan Thomas's brother, Kelvin Watts, correct? You've called his brother a waste of space in October 2021, didn't you?
Mr. Copeland's not answering the question, so.
Yeah,
he needs a
apparently
response.
Mr. Schardt doesn't care whether he answers or not, so it's fine with me.
fine
If
with
he
me
wants
too.
an answer, he can say that.
You called Kelvin Watts a waste of space in October 2021, didn't you?
And I don't think nobody on earth would not agree with it.
You said that people would cheer if he died. Correct?
I will. Back in the days.
You've shot at Donovan Thomas's brother, Kelvin Watts, correct? You're the one who got jumped by Donovan Thomas's brother on January 6, 2015 at Club Crucial, correct? You, not any of these gentlemen. Right? And you're the one that shot up TIG Recording Studio on January 8th, 2015. Isn't that correct? Let me ask you something, Mr. Copeland. You were asked about the Green Store by Attorney Steele, right? The Green Store, you're familiar?
Yeah.
That's actually called Mommy's Grocery in Delhi on Glen Street, correct?
I guess.
Okay. You estimated that the driving time is 5 minutes. The truth is, to get from the Green Store to where Donovan Thomas was gunned down, you have to drive a couple hundred feet on Glen Street and take a right onto McDaniel, correct? That's how you get there, right over the tracks. The truth is, it takes less than a minute to make that drive. Isn't that correct? Mr. Kokomo, could you publish DS24F? This is February 21st, 2015, 378 Yankee Delta from 622.59 to 624.01.
Mr. Schardt has laid this up this entire time, and it took Woody up until maybe 45 minutes an hour to get a hold of it, to understand that. And it took the prosecution even longer to realize what was going on. And now it's too late. It's all in there. It's out there. Here's the thing. I don't know if Woody did it. He might have, probably didn't. I don't know. That's not the issue here, folks. The issue here is Shannon Stillwell did not. Who did it? That's for the cops to investigate. And the crooked cops of Fulton County are bad at their job.
I got somebody, I don't know his name, he ill, he called. the night, well, I forgot what day they got killed with.
And we're going to start it over, Mr. Copeland, because I didn't provide any context. You spoke on a gang meeting that the Bloods had about you on that Thursday before Donovan Thomas was killed, correct? Mr. Kokomo, could you play DS24?
I got somebody from his name. I got somebody from his name. He said he killed him. He called the night. Well, I forgot what day they got killed with. It was a Friday night. It was Thursday night. They had a barbecue. The barbecue just about it was blood and everything blood in. Then the whole meeting was based upon me. They was all in there talking about this and this, talking about this and this. So the nigga Mo was on the phone. So Mo told everybody, all I need, every last one of y'all, whoever 90s scraps here, whoever that was nickname, supposed to kill me. They gave all them guns. The same night, they gave every last one gun. Say, treat me to a gas station and kill me. I forgot what else. But he called and told me everything. He said, is this person a friend of yours?
Thank you again, Catnot Williams, for gifted 10 memberships. I know you were aiming for Otto, but they were given to David Cox, SR, Raymond Godfrey, What the F, Wigs and Wine, Steve Kirkland, DA, Tio Toys, and Antonio Lee and Grant Daly. And then she gifted 10 more. Jesus Christ. To Chloe Albert's Revenge, Plant Agent, Chris Sawyer, Lulumis, D. Peel, Fire and Ice, Notes Taken, Jake Harris, Sandra. I don't know, Otto, have the press the chat, wait, I appreciate it, but maybe Otto hasn't pressed the thing so he can receive. So Otto, press the gift thingy up there. When you do that, it should come up as an option of receiving gifted memberships. And Kat just gifted 5 more. To Mac Ruda, Victoria, Tracy Fagan, Karen James, and Britt Sherry. Aww. In the beginning, let's see, it's only a couple of days until it is September. Then I get 10 more memberships to give out for free. But thank you so much, Catnot Williams. You've gifted 45 memberships today. Thank you so much. Oh. But we have to continue with this because I'm supposed to be somewhere right about now, so we need to get through this. Thank you again.
The Bloods had a gang meeting on the Thursday before Donovan Thomas was killed, 2 days before, on the same day that you shot up TIG Studios. Isn't that correct?
I don't know what you're talking about.
In that statement to the police, you said that the whole meeting was based on me. Not them, on you. That Mo, from behind the wall, had put the green light on you. Not anyone else. He put the green light on you for what was going on with you. The guy who stole from Donovan Thomas. The guy who shot up the studio with Rich Homie Quan and Donovan Thomas in the studio that night.
Yeah, objection, I was assuming facts not in the evidence and harassment of their witness.
Overruled.
You've told the police at that meeting, Donovan Thomas went whoop, approved of the orders to kill you. You told the police that the gang members handed out guns to younger people. And the plan was to trick you to come to the gas station. And the only reason you were killed is because someone told you about it. In January 2015, Donovan Thomas was coming after you.
Objection, speculation, again, assuming facts not in evidence.
Sustained.
Mr. Copeland, you're not the type of guy to back down, are you? No further questions.
All right. Okay, I know that the state is going to have redirect, but I think it's going to last longer than we've got for this evening. So we will come back on Tuesday of next week to finish up with Mr. Copeland. So Mr. Copeland, if you can be back here with us at 9 a.m. on Tuesday of next week.
You be blessed.
All right.